I'm well, just busy with my new projects, but I am quite well.
What are your new projects? I sent you a couple of references, but
I'm doing, okay, hold on, hold on.
Hi, Dennis. Hey, Carlos.
Okay, I'm back. I'm doing some work with the county. So the Department of Education with the county. So, okay, so let me see. Okay, so we are live streaming. So that's function. We worked out the kinks with that function. And okay, we got one person in the waiting room.
Hi, Eric. Hi, Grace.
Hello.
hello all.
Shalom, shalom. Okay. Spanish neighbor, closed captioning, who can see between. Okay. That's good. Waiting room participants.
What's up, Captain Greg?
Everything is lovely in my world.
Are the skies clear tonight?
The skies are not cool. Well, I
You
don't
look
know.
like
I don't know.
you're
It's kind of dark,
traveling.
so I can't really tell. I can't really tell. It's kind of dark out there, so I don't know. I let Miss Luna out, my dog out, and she ran after something in the tree and came back. So
is anybody having coyote trouble?
everybody's having coyote trouble, brother.
And you let Miss Luna out?
Miss Luna can take care of herself concerning coyotes.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yes.
You want to bring Miss Luna by my house?
No. Miss Luna can hold her own concerning the coyotes. Yep. Not worried about that. So that part of life. So
It's been quiet though the last maybe week or so. I haven't heard any reports.
yeah. No, we've had a few running around the neighborhood and but okay, waiting room.
I had a place to put this in. I don't have to hold it there. Yeah, I don't have to hold
I mean, oh,
it.
the gang is arriving.
Hell.
Mm-hmm.
Gang's all here.
Not all here yet, but
Almost.
okay. Okay, admit on.
So,
Go ahead, Mike.
well, I was just saying, I got something from Donna about the Avenues Christmas party or something at Johnny Pastrami's. I've lost the date. Does anybody know what that date is?
December the 14th.
Thank you, Teresa. I knew you.
Yeah. But we will, that will be announced again in the meeting, I'm sure. Or should be announced, requesting that it be announced again in the meeting. Okay. So someone doing a head count to see how we doing. How's everybody doing? Oh yeah, I should have put on a clean shirt or something. A nice shirt.
A nice shirt and some holiday music.
Yeah, I should have put on a good shirt.
No, that's all right. My shirt is kind of
a Christmas shirt.
Your shirt looks nice, man. Your shirt looks nice.
I have my sweater. I was gonna put that on with this picture time. Yeah. Mom always told her, you better wear a tie. You don't take a picture, you better wear a tie.
You know, speaking of that, well, my mother would always tell me in case I had to go to the emergency room for some reason.
No, come on, Eric.
Clean underwear.
Clean underwear and some clean socks.
The problem with that is if you have an accident, your underwear is not going to be clean when you get there.
Hey.
That's fair, Mike.
That's true too.
But you know you left the house with clean underwear.
Man, clean underwear.
That's what Mom would say. Yeah. Okay.
Boy, make sure you put on.
All right. Madam Vice President, what's our count right now?
Let's see, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
13.
13.
13, okay.
And what's quorum?
13, right?
Yes.
13, yeah.
Yeah.
Our lucky number.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
worked this long.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the time on deck is 7:03. And so what I will do is I will share the agenda and call the meeting to order. Be advised that we are live streaming. And Sarah, do you want me to record it also on the Zoom for the transcript's sake, or is that, what's your preference?
That would be great, because in months past, it seems like it's,
Okay.
you guys can get the transcript for YouTube, but it takes a couple days. The Zoom one seems to be ready earlier. I don't really understand the difference,
Okay.
but yeah, as soon as
Okay.
we can get it, it's great. Thank you.
Let me make sure.
And can we have official roll call before the agenda?
Yes.
For our
Yes.
usual order? Thank you.
Yes, yes. So I just want to make sure that I am recording before we get started. Okay. Hi, Laura. Oh, so let me stop sharing, and then I will resume recording. Okay, so we're recording on both ends. Hi, Laura. You waving at me or just? So, okay, I'm gonna call. So I will call the meeting to order. Welcome everyone to the fabulous team of Unnc, where we are movers and shakers, doing things for our community, making the place a better place for you and me and everyone about us. We are warriors for good, warriors for the right thing, and we will work with one another to do this good work. And the request is that I enable the live transcript. If that's another function somewhere, someone that knows where that little tab is at, please let me know, because I don't know where it's at. But so I thought that was automatic. Okay, I thought that was an automatic thing.
Yes, it says here, who can see this transcript? The recording is on.
Okay, so I thought it was already done. So if that's a new function that I needed to click something separately, please let me know. Otherwise, I thought once I hit recording, it was doing the transcript and the audio visual recording also. Okay. And again, as we said, we are recording live on YouTube. We're super tech people. All right. Thanks to your work. So, all right. So again, welcome. So let's conduct the roll, and then we will approve and review the agenda.
All right. Hello,
Hello.
everybody. Respond when I call your name. John Arnold.
I am here.
Corrine
Here,
Albrecht.
here.
Hi there. Christine Carlson.
Here, present.
Right. Thank you. Raheem Dawson.
Here.
Hi, Raheem. Taylor Fife. Okay. Gregory Jackson.
We
Present.
just got an email before the meeting that Taylor had a very serious work thing he had last minute. So he will be unable to make it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Jasmine Johnson. I thought I saw
Here.
Jasmine. There she is.
He's here.
Yeah. Paul King.
Present.
Carlos Carrick.
Here.
All right. Michael Kimbrough.
Here.
And Sarah Lacey. Sarah, okay. Dennis.
Here.
Okay. Oh, Dennis, okay. It's the delayed response. Sarah Long Henry,
Here.
Teresa Masonette,
Present.
thank you. Laura Myers. I saw
She's here.
her.
She's
Laura?
She's here.
Oh, okay. Well, she just unmuted. Laura? Okay. Lizzie.
Yes.
Hi,
here.
Lizzie, I see you.
Hello, everyone.
Noriel?
L'Oreal is excused.
Okay, thank you. Charlie? Charlie Papp? Okay, I know she sometimes comes late. Paula Southern? Wonder where she is. Dolores Spears? No, Dolores? What?
She will be here.
Okay,
be
Grace
here.
Yu.
Present.
Ivy Priestley. Is that you, Ivy? No, that's Tori. Okay, no Ivy. Okay, I'll be looking out for him. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 present.
Okay, outstanding. Okay, I will share the agenda for tonight. Okay. Can everyone see it clearly?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay, so we have our boilerplate information about the meeting, agenda package, links, then the actual agenda. Welcome. Now we're approving the agenda. We will have general public comments. We allotted 1 minute for that. That is not a discussion. That is just where people can make announcements and not a Q&A session. Then we have space for government officials. Then we have reports from the executive committees, secretary, treasurer, vice president, etc. Then we have funding requests from a few organizations. And then we have committee reports. And we have asked for the committee reports that since this is about halfway through the year or more, so if we can receive a brief report from all the committees if at all possible, or at least some of them, if we don't finish, we will go into January for the rest of the committees. And then old business and adjournment. Are there any questions concerning the agenda?
You skip
I
Unnc
skipped-
election funding? Is that, you didn't mention it, I was looking down.
I mentioned that we have several funding requests.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes, I didn't go over each
Okay.
line. but
Oh, there it is at the top of the
Yeah,
page.
Yeah.
Yes,
I didn't
okay,
go over each item, but
okay.
okay, so I make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented.
Second. That's
And-
Paula.
And Madam Secretary, we do this by raising of hands, is that correct?
Yeah, acclamation.
Yes. Okay. Okay, if you approve, please raise your hand, virtual or otherwise. Mine is so raised, okay. All righty, so agenda is approved, moving forward. We open the floor for general public comments. Do we have any general public comments? Since I see Miss Lizzie first on my screen, Miss Lizzie, please proceed.
Yes, thank you. So as an educator, this has been, weighing heavily on my mind recently, and watching the news about the dramatic increase in fentanyl overdose and deaths in the city of LA. I thought it would be pertinent to have some sort of action from our board on how we can inform the community about what is available in terms of maybe prevent these deaths. I know that in the past we have talked about that, but anyway, I wanted to bring it maybe to the agenda of the next public safety committee meeting. If there's something that we can do, I would be more than willing to be part of that conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Jasmine? Ms. Jasmine, is your hand up from voting on the agenda or for public comments? I guess not. Okay. So are there any other additional public comments? Seeing none, let's move on to our government officials for CD 10. I see we have Eric present.
Yes, I am here. Hello,
Wow.
everyone. Nice seeing you. That shirt doesn't look too much different than the one you previously had on.
You know,
I think it's gonna help much.
Hey.
I agree with you.
It looks whiter.
But
Yes.
thank you. But there's too much motion for me to take it off again.
Got it.
Because it's distracting, you know?
Got it.
And, so you just have to roll with it, brother. You have
It's
to love
not,
me.
but
Brother, you just have to
look
love me
good
the
in
way I
previous
am.
Shirt. You look good in the previous shirt. Like,
thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I
did,
appreciate
man.
that love, man. Just
You
love me
did.
as I am, you know? Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Outstanding. We're going to make it.
So for a couple of the updates, the stop signs.
Sorry.
No problem. The stop signs have been installed on Gramercy at 21st in request of the Western Heights. And the Adamore, if I'm saying that right, streets have met the minimum requirements for the speed humps. And I believe is moving on to the phase 3 for testing. And the new stop signs painted on 2nd Ave and Carson Boulevard have been repaved as well. So I'm guessing it is the new stop lines where before you get to the stop sign, you know how you got those lines right there. Mm-hmm. They have been repainted. What I do want to share is on 12/14, we are having that turkey giveaway at the Obama Center. And as of right now, we are low in regards of people who have reserved and said they wanted to come pick up a turkey. We have about 1,400 turkeys available. And as of right now, we have about 100 reservations. And this event is supposed to be taking place on 12/14. So it is our hope, with your help, we could spread this word and spread this message to get some of our residents and our community members to come pick up a turkey and a food basket. And in order for us to reach this 1,400, we truly, truly appreciate you all share the event. Somebody just raised their hand. I can't tell who that is.
Lizzie first.
Okay.
Yes, Eric, thank you so much. Is there a post on the CD10 updates Facebook page?
I believe so.
Because they can share immediately all over.
Okay, so I believe so. If you could do that, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And to keep in mind, it is for our CD10 residents, and we are asking for verification of residency in our district.
Okay.
That would be greatly appreciated. I'm looking for that flyer now, and
yes,
then
if there's a flyer, yes, if you could send that flyer our way, that would be great.
I was
in JPEG version. That would be helpful.
Okay, let me see if I could. I'm pretty sure it might already be in a JPEG format. I'm looking for it now.
Okay, perfect.
And then second, Teresa and myself and Donna, we went and did a walkthrough at the Isidore House in regards to potentially trying to launch a beautification project. Teresa, I did have a conversation with Mr. Darrell Ford, and he was asking basically like some detailed questions. And I said, you know what, you asking, too many questions. So I figured like we'll go back, not Darrell and I, but myself, you and Donna, and basically draw up a plan and present it to Darrell to make sure that what we want to do to the Isidore House is safe and we're able to do it without any, with minimum restrictions from Rec and Parks, if that makes sense.
That sounds great. Thank you, Eric. And don't forget, we want to talk to him about this too.
That's
We need to
right.
have a-
Okay.
We need to have a sit down with Daryl Ford to go over and figure out how we're going to fund that,
Okay.
if you can. Thank you.
Yep. We'll do that. In regards, I believe that's it. If there's any other questions, now's your time to ask.
Yeah, Eric, I have just on the turkey giveaway, we'll just share that with the schools in our footprint, and that should bring the
Okay.
numbers up.
Okay. And tomorrow I'll be doing a foot beat in Independence Square. I believe it's off Jefferson's Boulevard. It's an apartment complex. And I'll just be walking around and handing out flyers there as well, just as an FYI to people.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. And Dennis, your hand's up?
Yes, please. Eric, I thought I heard you say that the speed hump petition is to testing. Can you tell me something about what that testing involves?
Basically, they'll come out. So different phases in the speed hump program. One of them is we got to get the petitions. Two, they'll come out and basically do an evaluation to make sure that the street, one, is wide enough and there's a certain distance between two locations that would allow for the speed humps to be installed. Phase 3 is basically the evaluation process of the speed hump, to where the team that installs the speed hump will look at the site and basically determine that it's large enough to install the speed humps with the width and the length and the distance of the street to make sure it's okay and good to go.
Is there any opportunity or request, in fact, for neighborhood involvement in that process?
Primarily neighborhood involvement is a petitions. And once that's done, that's turned over to the team that installs the speed hump to basically get the verification and make sure the addresses match and those signatures are missing, and basically to verify it. So when I says phase 1, that is the verification process of basically meeting the petitions. So for this particular locations, it sounds like it went through phase 1, 2, and now 3, where these the team will come out to verify the streets to make sure they're long enough and that's short.
Eric, that sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Laura, you're up.
Thank you. So, Eric, actually, Danielle Merrow did send, but I think maybe we're having some email troubles, because she did send the turkey flyer to Unnc board, but it sounds like
Okay.
most of the board members. No, it sounds like most of the board members didn't get it, but I will also try forwarding it to everyone.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I had gotten in, it wasn't just me, but I think there may be some email issues with us. There are a number of housing projects, not just the one you mentioned. I think you mentioned Jefferson Park Terrace that are family affordable housing projects. But is that the one Jefferson and 4th that you're going to go to?
I believe it's called Independence Square.
Oh, well, then there's 2 more beyond that.
Okay.
There's the Mercy Housing project that's on Western between 30th and 31st. Those are affordable apartments for families. I don't think you're trying to do big turkey giveaways to singles, correct? Because I don't know.
Right.
I mean, we have a bunch of senior housing too, but then also 4th and Jefferson. So one of those is called Jefferson Park Terrace. John Arnold probably could help us on this. The other one I call Fat Burger Arms, but that is not its real name. But it has the little Fat Burger building as a part of it. But those are both affordable housing for families. And then also just outside UNMC on the west side of Crenshaw, around Jefferson, there is another family-oriented affordable housing project. So I think those are 3 good targets for this.
Okay.
I don't feel like I'm willing to try and knock on all those doors, but if for that. But I also was hoping we could get an update. You may not be able to update us, but on the situation at 1860 Manhattan Place, right by the district office, with the double parking of cars Danielle's been trying to work on it. So has that been shared in the office? We have any updates?
I know it was mentioned briefly. Danielle did bring it up in one of our staff meetings in regards to, I believe, the let out from that center is causing like double parking when the participants come in and they double park.
It's the drop off and the pickup. And
Okay.
what's happening is on both sides of Manhattan Place, the security guard is encouraging the parents to just simply double park and leave their cars and go walk in and pick up their kids. It's very dangerous. It's leaving a narrow aisle kind of down the middle of Manhattan Place only. I'm so wishing it would end before someone is injured or worse. And I think, I mean, we've been bringing it up for a couple of months now. So it's, you know, it's going to be real good over Christmas because the middle school will not be in session. So I'm hoping, you know, what Donna Jones, who's taking the lead on this for us, had asked was that there be a pre-meeting with somebody from UNNC is, you know, on the board as well, the CD10 office, the city neighborhood prosecutor, DOT, and our senior lead officer. So everyone had asked for a meeting before you try to meet with the academy owners, but I don't know if there's any progress at all.
Okay, I'll definitely,
dangerous.
I understand the frustration. I'll definitely get with Danielle and I'll follow up in regards to where she is currently at with this project and trying to resolve the issues.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, Lizzie, you're up.
Yes, I'm sorry. One more thing. On the speed humps, Eric, do you have a list of the ones in our area? Because our block is also has also applied.
Yeah.
And I believe we also went up to the second.
You don't have to. You can hang on to that. Can I unplug that?
Okay. Chris, can you unmute, please?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
My bad. I'm moving,
Okay,
having to move.
no problem.
I'm glad you actually mentioned that. We are in the process now, but I'm not even sure if it's possible in regards of trying to get all the information and the people who actually apply for speed humps in our district.
Okay.
Because that information isn't available to us to basically say this street applied, that street applied. So we don't know who applied or not. We just basically get a notification of, like what I stated earlier, if they met the minimum requirements and what phases this street is moving on to.
All right. Thank you. I'll get in touch with you again. Thank you.
Okay.
What, Lizzie, and to everyone, one of the issues with the speed humps is that once it opens, the window, the applicant pool fills up so fast that it's open. You know, I don't know the exact time that it's open, but it's like closes in the day. So it's like, unless you know and you're on the ready to apply,
right,
you miss it, because we've been trying to do it for our community, but the window closes fast.
Well, just to let you know, we had one very savvy neighbor on our block who applied and got in. So we're up to the second.
Okay.
Somebody on watch. Someone on watch for that. Okay.
That's good to know. I know some people on the other side of CD10, on the southern side of it, that logged in it opened up at 9 a.m. and they logged in maybe at like 9:07 and the application was already closed.
Yeah.
I mean, it was quick.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. Good, sir.
I want to pose a question to the group real quick, just in regards to the coyotes. I know there's been a bunch of information floating around on what we could do to protect your homes and the little ones and things of that sort. Has anyone tried the wolf urine by chance?
No. I mean, we had the wildlife people come out and do a presentation to us, and they gave us some tips.
Have you heard about the wolf urine in regards to protecting and spraying it around your house because the coyotes smell it and it's a deterrent for them coming onto the property?
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
I've used that for other things.
Okay.
Well, not necessarily wolf urine, but that concept for other
Okay.
things. So it does work in some cases. So yeah, there's all types of different methods to use. Okay. Anything else, Eric?
No, that is it from me. Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being my fashion designer and a good sir. Okay.
You see my shirt, man.
All right, brother. All good. Okay.
All right.
So Gibson, you are up, sir. You're muted.
I like how it started with such enthusiasm. You should have seen my excitement.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, man. We won.
Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you, Gibson Yambura. I am your NEA. Just a couple items. Just want to let everybody know that we have been working on our EVG EVG protocol. This is in regards to we are trying to be proactive in how the department creates a hybrid model. So we have been working on, we had to help identify 21 neighborhood councils that we can work with, that can help us work with in creating a hybrid meeting model in accordance to Assembly Bill 2449. As you know, this is the one that has adjustments to the Brown Act. And so how do neighborhood councils, how are they going to be meeting moving forward? How does a hybrid model look in this environment? And how do we best provide input and sort of accommodate each and every neighborhood council's needs? So the department has been diligently working on that. We had identified 21 NCs that we are working with so they can help us or kind of walk through some of the issues of what happens when in different environments, right? We want to ask the question, what happens in terms of internet? What happens in terms of all kinds of issues? We want to make sure that through this working model, with this hybrid model, with these 21 neighborhood councils, we're able to sort of standardize a system across the neighborhood council system. One thing we just want to sort of emphasize is we understand that the law is still going to be changing. It's going to be evolving. There's definitely going to be processes that will definitely look very different next year, especially when Sacramento is back in session. We are cognizant that several parts of the Brown Act are going to be changing, but we are still doing our best to be diligent in terms of being proactive and asking those questions. And how does the department look like? So we had our first. We've been working with our EVG work group. This is the one that was identified by both the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners to sort of help collaborate with the department in asking some of these questions. In addition to that, we have been working on the CIS portal. We are trying to sort of modernize the CIS system that we use. Currently, we have a staffer who's helping us visualize the current data with the CIS. So it's something that will be printed on our website coming soon. As you know, one thing about our department is we continue to take a data. We continue to sort of take a data-centric approach in some things, and the CIS portal will be one of them, and it will be available on our website soon. It's something that we've been working on building a draft for it. On a couple of policies, the department is going to be giving a couple of updates in regards to several council files. The first one is council file 21-0407. This is in regards to the standardizing of election rules and the stakeholder participation in the neighborhood council system. So this is something that the department has been working on. And I've also mentioned the EVG hybrid, virtual, the Empower LA virtual governors in-person meeting. This is from the council file 22-1070. The other one that we've also been working on, this is the CIS portal that we're touching base on in regards to doing a technological upgrade. We still don't, there's not an official timeline as to when that will be released, but it's something the department is working on updating and making sure that it's instituted within the neighborhood council system. And this is the council file 22-1146. I just want to reiterate that the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners will be having a tentative retreat on Sunday, January 22nd at 1 p.m. It's going to be open to the public, similar to any retreat that is held by neighborhood councils. It has to be an agenda posted, and it will be open for folks. So if you guys would like to do that, by all means, you'll be able to jump in and just kind of take a look at the retreat. The next thing is we are starting to gear up into the next stage of doing election outreach. I do know our neighborhood council outreach chairs and election committee chairs will be reached out to the department as to sort of collaborative efforts. We'll be announcing some of the plans that we have, what are our strategies of helping build engagement moving forward in this election cycle, and how that does look like. And we want to make sure that we take the opportunity to one thing is we're going to be doing is I'm still going to be working with this board to help best figure out the best way to conduct outreach, reach out to stakeholders, participate in that capacity. We want to make sure that folks just have the ability to get to as many people as possible, which is why we will be providing updates in regards to that. But as election is coming out, we're going to be doing a lot of outreach and engagement. So please be on the lookout for that. If you see an email from me, please don't be scared. It's us just trying to get as many stakeholders to participate. And as you know, this election cycle will have mail-in and in-person. So it's going to be a combination of both. We want to make sure that we collaborate with our colleagues in the office of the city clerk, that this election has an increased outreach participants. We want more stakeholders to vote in. We want more folks to participate. So that's like one of the few things that the department is working on. Other than that, if you need help with your getting in your Cornerstone portal, please let me know. It's something that we are working on, making sure to reach out to as many people as possible. We want to help board members get their trainings done. If you need help, if you need me to walk you through it, I'm always available. Go through Zoom. It's kind of a process, but I'm always willing to work with you as long as it takes to help you get to the finish line. Other than that, I'll be here in the rest of the evening. If anybody has any questions, please let me know.
So Gibson, you just thank you, first of all. And you said you'd be here most of the night, but particularly I would like for you to be present when Ms. Lizzie gives her report about the election. And I think others will have some input on that. And then, as you said, that as much work as we can do on that Cornerstone portal, it is so user friendly.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. It's something that the department is fully aware of. And it's on our one of our many things. We would like to make sure that we can make it usable, because sometimes it feels counterintuitive, especially when you're trying to relaunch the code of conduct training. Right. And so it's too many extra steps, and so it's something that we are fully aware of, and it's something we're trying to figure out what are the options we do have, and how does that look like to make sure that the trainings are well implemented in the near future. As because a lot of city agencies, including ours, are sort of modernizing a lot of the systems. That is one of many that we are looking into figuring out how we can make it, we can update and make a change on it and make it easier for neighborhood council board members to do their training.
Okay, and while they're doing that, if they could consider a mercy policy, which a mercy policy is defined as if a reasonable human being can see that another reasonable human being attempted to do the training and went through the steps and took the class but was in the wrong section, then the mercy principle says that because we know you attempted to complete the training, we will give you credit for that, and not say, whatever the opposite of mercy is, not say because you were on the wrong section, you don't receive credit for that. So the true demonstration of being open for change is to well, maybe not the only true, but a true method of showing that the city is open to supporting the people that are trying to do the right thing is to not be so stiff with the rule, because that rule or that machine should not control us. It is a tool to serve us. And the way it's being implemented now, it is controlling us or limiting us and causing pain for my people. Anyway, I'm done with that. Thank you, sir. Laura, you are up.
Thank you, Preacher Jackson.
Amen, sister. I can do that.
But you're right. You're right. That wasn't why I had raised my hand, but you're absolutely right. We've had so many issues over the last couple of years. We've lost two board members over
Mhm.
So over in the last couple of years. So it's just not so good. How are you, Gibson?
I'm doing great, just a little cold. I'll be honest with you, very honest with you. As an Angelino, anything under 70 degrees is cold. So I'll be honest with you, I am cold.
I have a couple of questions. Back to the EVG, or in other words, the hybrid meetings. I realize that for the governing board, we're based on what they're doing in Sacramento, we're going to have to be in person, or probably want to be, but with a minimum of 13 board members, and figuring out the rest of it is what you're doing. But UNNC has a unique committee system where the only person or persons who are on the committees officially, meaning appointed, would be the chair or the chair and co-chair. So it seems to me that it's going to be really easy to do hybrid Zoom for our committees, because all that we'd really have to do, I'm kind of floating this past you, is have those chair or two chairs sitting in a public space, Southeast House, and have the computers on, and everybody else can still stay at home, because we don't, that would be quorum. But would the department agree with that? You can't answer this off the top of your head, but I mean, this is something we're sort of thinking, how do we do this? Because technically, what they're talking about in Sacramento is a quorum of the body has to be in a public space, and then the other members can be elsewhere. But we don't have other appointed members; we just have everybody. So that's one thing to ponder. I do not know if other neighborhood councils would have a similar situation for committees, but we've managed to grow our committee participation substantially because of Zoom. And it would be a shame for that to go away. You know, occasionally at planning and zoning, we have 20 people now, you know.
I don't have a good answer to that question, but I do know it's something that we are still, I think in-person meetings will still not happen, not yet, but we're just making sure that one thing that we also are working on right now is we're working with our colleagues in the department on DOD, Department of Disability, to make sure that each location is ADA compliant. We want to make sure that we provide accessibility to our stakeholders. And first things first is to make sure each meeting location is something that is accessible. So in that same conversation, I think one thing that the reason why we're building this hybrid work group is this EVG work group is to make sure that we can ask those questions. And also, we are going to need the guidance. Also, we are going to need sort of further assessment and policy assessment from the Office of the City Attorney's Office. Also, is something, one thing is for sure with changes of administrations, it's something that a lot of people are just a little bit kind of pausing on before any major policy changes are made, until sort of the new change, until all the new electeds are in City Council or in Sacramento. But one thing is for sure, there's definitely going to be multiple changes, and it's something that we're trying to work diligently and just be able to adapt to anything that's going to be coming our way. We want to be nimble. The word is nimble. We want to be nimble, and we want to be able to adapt. And so I don't have a good answer, but it's something I'll bring forth for discussion as to, especially how your committees function, and how does that look like. So I think it still needs a little further assessment, if you ask me.
And I hadn't even thought of the ADA thing, but our identified main governing board meeting room is passed with flying colors, like 0 things to correct. And we just got a confirmation of that. But when Teresa and I met with the ADA consultant, I don't know, almost more than a year ago, I think.
Yeah.
He also indicated that the budget for his company doing these ADA reviews for the neighborhood councils was 1 location per neighborhood council. However, he was also looking at other public buildings in our community. So for example, he had looked at what we call the former Council District 10 field office, which is still actually the current and former, but it did not pass, but we're not meeting there. What I don't know is, you know, the other location we've identified is the Recreation and Parks facility, Southeast House, which is absolutely 100% ADA compliant. but his budget didn't include that he could go over there to look at it. So, we can't pay and provide enough insurance, et cetera, for the big facility for the governing board to also be for 10 committees. So I don't know how this gets done. I don't know if there's a different contract for recreation and parks and we just adopt it, but it's fairly clear that when we're back in person, we use the South Seas House for quite a few of our meetings. And its function on this earth, meaning the public funding it got to be rehabilitated, was for community meetings, along with a couple of things. And so, we have to figure out how to overlap it. And then the other thing, go ahead.
No, I think some of those you brought up very strong points, and I think for us, it's something that we there's definitely an extra step we need to take a look at to make sure before in-person meetings happen, we want to make sure that we've checked every box, because we don't want you to start meeting in person and then it becomes a problem of, oh, we can't meet here because it's not ADA, there's not an agreement and all that good stuff. So a couple of things that you and I'll touch base with Greg and you as well. Is just kind of what are some of the concerns that we do have if we were to meet in person in the next 2 to 3 months.
Okay. And one quick other thing, I have not had the problems that other neighborhood councils have had on using the CIS portal. Our stuff, well, I shouldn't say that. Some of our stuff just never showed up. So I guess we did have problems, but in using it, it didn't feel like we were having problems, except I've been unable to upload the PDFs that includes the pretty letter. In other words, the community impact statement has a format. It can be no more than 2,000 characters plus spaces. But in theory, a neighborhood council can also upload a more detailed letter, but the interface on the upload doesn't work. So that's another thing for whoever's working and done on this, to make sure the new and improved includes a new and improved upload function. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Gibson.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, so we have space for the supervisor's office from Daniel Park. I don't see him or do we have any other government officials present? Seeing none, we will move on to the next portion of our agenda. Well, members of the executive committee and governing board in general, would it be okay if we moved our funding requests up first so that our guests can speak and go about their business and put their children to bed?
It's fine with me.
Yes, would that be okay?
That's one. Chris
Good
is
with me.
shaking yes.
Okay, okay. So who wants to go first for their funding requests?
Well, Helen is listed. Helen is listed first.
Okay, and she has the children. So go ahead, Miss Helen. So you want
Hi
to?
there.
Hi.
Thank you.
Okay, so Paul, do you want to share her document? Or do you want me to share it?
I don't have it up, but I can go in real quick if you don't have it up.
Well, I have it in the folder, so I'll pull it up.
Okay.
I appreciate this because last time my daughter was crying for me, and I'm just I'm right in the same house.
We understand. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me find your document.
I'm happy to go ahead and talk about it as we wait for the document.
Okay, so you want to show the fly? No, that's not yours. That's compost. And okay, go ahead and start talking while I'm finding your document.
So I'm a PTO. I'm Helen, everybody. Helen Kim, and I'm the PTO president at Mid-Cities Prescott, which is the magnet school, elementary school, right on Arlington and Adams. We have a potential garden project in the works that we've already started prepping. It's a site that we want to plant some native plants on, wildflowers, all native plants though. And it's a site on the school campus that is not used right now. We're doing the sheet mulching process, which is, killing the grass underneath. There's not too much grass, but there is some grass. And hopefully today's rains will help a lot with that. So part of the project that we really need help with is funding for the plants itself. We're also working with a school garden specialist who was formerly at Theodore Payne, who has helped us kind of conceptualize the project and will be working with us on a maintenance plan. And she also has lessons that she wants to incorporate with the children. We do have a science focus at the school, so we're thinking that native plants are a really good way of bringing the local ecology in to highlight that science focus. So the costs are mostly, like I mentioned, plants, a garden specialist consultant, like a one-time fee, and then mulch, the bark mulch. So that's our project.
Okay. Okay, so Paul, do you want to, if you could share what the executive board reviewed and presented? The recommendation that we have?
Yeah, our recommendation was just to go up to $600 for this project. We still need to revise the NPG to correctly reflect that, but and basically that $600 number is because we're trying to approve like a greater number of NPGs in UNNC, but at lower amounts, because we don't want to do like 3 or 4 neighborhood project grants and then expend all of our budgeted dollars. So we're trying to do smaller amounts, but more NPGs to spread our dollars around.
Okay.
And
I second.
Yeah.
Chris has, yes, Chris' hand is up. Chris, muted.
So do you have partners for your funding? Or are we your only source of funding? For this
The
project?
PTO organization itself will be providing funds as well for the garden.
Okay, because some of the things you mentioned are like the city provides free mulch. You just have to pick it up, and they have several areas around the city, not that far away, that it can be brought over from. Also, if you reach out to Lowe's, and many of the large, like Home Depot and Lowe's, they often, if they get a torn bag, they'll tape it shut, but then they'll donate it to nonprofits and schools and stuff. There's a whole lot of, I've worked on school gardens, and there's a whole lot of resources that are available for garden projects. And I'd be happy to share that with you. Do you have a phone number, or can you put it in our chat that I could share some resources?
You may not want to put your phone number in the chat.
Or
I'll put my email address then.
An email, a way to get a hold of it. Yeah, some way. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you so much for those ideas and resources. That's really great to know. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Chris. Laura, you're up.
Thank you. Helen, has the school provided you a letter that says, yes, we'll let you build up the garden?
No, they have not, but the school has kind of just let me have free reign of the area. I've been working with the plant manager there, and she's been helping me, but not like an official letter, no.
I don't know if the city clerk would require it, and Paul will obviously have to check, but it might be a good idea to, draft it for her, get it on her letterhead, and say, hey, we'll sign it. Because I think funding a build out, I think we need to know that we can build it out. Or I'll phrase it a different way, because we're not doing the build out, that it can be built. That'd be my only concern here.
If the clerk asks for that, then Helen, I'll come to you and we'll work on getting that issue.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a little worried about that, because I feel like if we ask for it, then it will start a chain reaction of, I don't know, but.
You're good. You're doing a project that the school likes, and the principals, if they like it, they've already smiled at you. And then if the city says they want it, then we'll, like Paul said, we'll work with you with getting that.
Okay.
Would say, hey, they've already said yes, so just say yes. And here, just
Are there
sign it.
any more questions for Helen? If not, I'd like to make the motion that we approve the request for $600 on this.
Second.
Let's call the vote.
All right, we'll get the, yep, thank you. All right, Jasmine,
Unmute yourself, everyone.
Yes.
thank you. Did Dolores come?
Negative.
I haven't seen her.
Oh, let me call.
Raheem?
Yep.
Paul?
Yes.
Carlos?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
I am a yes. Paula?
Yes.
Grace?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Corrine?
Yes.
Teresa?
Teresa's muted.
Teresa? Oh,
I said yes. Sorry.
oh, sorry, yeah, sorry. Michael? I can't see anybody's face.
Michael,
when I'm
Michael
doing
goes
this.
in and
Sorry,
out.
sorry.
Michael has.
Okay, no
popped-
worries.
Yeah, he pops in and
No
out.
worries. If you're muted, I won't be able to tell because I can't see
Yeah,
while
yeah.
I'm doing the.
Yeah, he's
pacing.
not present
Chris,
right now.
thank you.
I'm going to abstain based on the fact that there isn't a formal letter of approval by the site, because I don't think we should, it's a good practice to do things on a wink and a nod. It's a school site. The principal should simply write a letter that she's got the project approved, and we should ask for that as well as the city. So I'm going to abstain.
Okay, Greg,
Yes.
Lizzie,
Yes.
John Arnold.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Okay. Thank you
very
Ms.
much.
Ms. Helen, put the babies to bed and have a good evening. And now we'll go to Dr. Bailey. Dr. Bailey, do you want me to show the funding request, or you want to share something else?
No, you may show it.
Okay.
You may
Okay.
show it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, Greg, I have this one queued up. Oh, it looks like you have it already queued. So
Yeah, but I think I have the older version that.
Yeah.
that's the version I have too.
Paul,
Okay.
no, I did email the request, you sent me a request and I did send that over this evening. I don't know if you received it or not.
Received it, but it wasn't put into the folder in time. So
Oh,
we'll
I understand. Okay.
So
we'll
yeah, so
get the right version to
Yeah.
the city clerk.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me again. As mentioned, my name is Dr. Cassandra Bailey. I am the CEO of Ignited Light, and we partner with local businesses in South Los Angeles to provide free medical, legal, dental, and employment services to South Los Angeles residents in January for the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. And this is an event that we began in 2016, and we have grown from 1 day to 2. And as of this year, we reached nearly 1,500 residents that we serve. For 2023, now that the pandemic restrictions have been lifted, we are inviting back some of the service providers that we could not have because we had to limit our services, and also inviting new service providers. So one of our newer service providers for 2023 will be Charles Drew Medical Center. And one of the services that I'm very happy to announce that we will be providing will be, in addition to the COVID vaccinations and boosters, will be the monkeypox vaccinations as well. And we'll also have the Los Angeles Department of Mental Health to provide mental health services for veterans, adults, and children. So that's just a few of the services that we're going to be providing. I did make a request for assistance with purchasing food boxes for food distribution, which will be purchased through World Harvest Food Bank. And so that request remains the same. And I'm open to answering any questions that you have.
Okay. And so Paul, why don't you step in and share what the executive board?
Yeah, so actually, Cassandra, I don't have a question for you, but I do have a question, I guess, for Greg, and I can't remember if it was Laura. Weren't we going to have a discussion with World Harvest to see?
Yes, that would be me.
Okay, did that happen, or is there any update on that?
No response from them.
Okay.
As one of our members did mention that, be careful about that.
So, so just the executive committee, similar to the request for Helen Kim for the school, the initial request was for a higher amount, and we, came to this same conclusion as before, that we wanted smaller grants. So we approved or recommended the governing board approve this $600 request for Ignited Light to purchase food boxes from World Harvest.
Laura's hand is up.
Laura has a question.
Well, actually, just a comment. I think, okay, Ms. Bureaucrat has a comment. I think the motion needs to be that we move to approve an NPG for Ignited Light to purchase food boxes from World Harvest for other entities. So that it's really that we're giving the money to Ignited Light and not to the third-party vendor. And I also think the prior item for the BAC should have been, I missed it, approve an MPG, because that's the language we need in the BAC.
Yeah, that's there.
Sorry, Ms. Bureaucrat's lowering her hand now.
Yeah, that's there. That is on the agenda.
We'll make sure that's on the BAC. Chris? You're on mute.
Where is this event being held, and is it within UNNC, our footprint, and serving our community, or is it somewhere more external to us?
It is being held at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza, where it has always been held. And we partner with Home United Methodist Church, which is also in District 10. So we do have quite a number of residents from that district participating and receiving services.
And Holman will be part of the communication to get the word out to the community. Is that correct?
That
Okay.
is correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any more questions for Cassandra?
I think one of the questions was the date. Did we say the date?
The date is January 14th, 2023, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The day before, we do have a housing seminar, which will also be held at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Plaza and live streamed. And this housing seminar will basically be providing education, information related to available rental spaces, and providing information on how to develop a strong application to improve applicants' possibility of receiving rental spaces, as well as providing information related to preparing for home ownership. So we do have, we will be partnering with Self-Help Federal Credit Union, who will be a part of that event. And the people who will be on that panel will also be available Saturday to assist people with answering additional questions that they might have.
Wonderful.
Any more questions?
And what's the motion before us?
The motion is to approve a $600 NPG to Ignited Light for them to purchase food boxes from World Harvest or similar.
Second.
Let's vote.
Let's take the vote.
All right, Jasmine?
Unmute
Raheem?
everyone.
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Carlos?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
I am a yes. Paula?
Yes.
Grace?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Kareen?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Michael? Chris?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lizzie?
Yes.
John Arnold?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, Dr. Bailey, thank you
And
so much.
I will make sure that you receive the flyer and any other promotional materials we have as soon as they become available. They're in the process of being printed now.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you so much. Have a good
Okay,
evening.
thank you. Have a good
Okay.
evening.
Bye. Take care.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, next we are going to Executive Committee Business and Secretary's report. It's up and Sarah, let me give you share capability.
Sorry to
You
interrupt,
need to
Greg.
Yeah.
Were we going to do the election?
Oh, I'm sorry,
request?
Lizzie. My bad.
How
Yeah.
could you?
I want you to know. Never mind, no jokes, no
Okay.
jokes, no
Okay,
jokes. I'm
so
sorry.
yes, again, and the last funding request, this is for the committee, the elections committee campaign. So let me, I am not allowed to share. So
So let's change that.
yes.
Let's change that. Let's
Oh,
find you on my list. Let me come over here to you and there you go.
thank you. And now I need to rescue that. Just bear with me for a second. Sorry about that. I had it and then I lost it. Okay, now we have it. All right, I hope everybody can see it.
Yes.
It's the same that I presented to the executive committee. So this is for our standard marketing materials for the elections campaign starting this month towards the second half of December. We start with the candidate recruiting. So we're estimating printing about 40 posters, 500 or fewer postcards. The postcards would be bilingual. The posters would be half Spanish, half English, maybe Korean if needed. Also Facebook boosts for a total of 250. If needed, we would be hiring a graphic designer, photography fees maybe, since our campaign, elections committee has requested that the campaign focuses on more on photos, on actual on our actual stakeholders and neighbors, our buildings, our public spaces and our businesses, as opposed to just silhouettes or other kinds of images. And that would be for a total of about up to $1,200. And that's all the details. We don't have anything to show yet, but hopefully soon. Yes. So I'm taking questions. So I see Paul.
So yeah, I have a question. Have we identified the vendors yet for all
Yes,
these
it would be.
materials?
Yes, Print Depot And as far as designer photography fees, not yet. I don't have a name yet.
Okay, and then do we intend for the postcards to be mailed? I mean, I assume we intend for them to be mailed out, but we
No,
don't.
not mailed out. They would be placed hopefully with the help of all of us, in public places. I have already permission from our 2 libraries. I usually go to even liquor stores. I use on the outsides of the businesses. So many of them are willing to do. Some of our coffee shops and restaurants have maybe a community board, and we have been able to put posters there and the postcards as well.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, how much do we have in the budget for election?
I think it was 3,000,
Yes, it's
but
3,000.
that's changing if we might need also events to
Lizzie,
allow
can
some.
you stop sharing, Lizzie?
Oh, sure.
Thank
Some funds for an event, a concurrent event that we might hold for the day for voting day as well. Mhm.
Laura
Yes,
has a
Laura.
question.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Paul, sort of answering part of your question. This initial request is for phase 1 outreach, which is elections, but it's for the candidate. And what's in the budget is not spendable until we allocate, right, and vote. So this would be the first thing to vote on, and then by next month, the next board meeting, we'll have additional requests because we'll have a stronger plan. But each thing has to be voted on.
And there is a potential change to that 3,000 figure because of rebudgeting, and which I'll
Exactly.
talk about when we get to the treasurer's
Right.
report.
But this particular item is just to very specifically allow the elections committee to go ahead and start spending money in the next 2 weeks, because the candidate filing begins right before Christmas. So we have to get word out, because it's not ethical to not tell anybody that we have an election coming up. And I think Rahim could probably weigh in, but if the website did not manage to retain the whole elections portal from 2 years ago, they may have to recreate it since they've redone the website. So some of this money might need to go to extra funding for our webmaster, which is not in the normal contract. Some of this initial funding. So we just need to have the board vote, hopefully yes, for this exact amount, because we need to start spending it pretty darn quickly.
Any more questions for Lizzie? Given that there appear to be none, I make the motion that we vote to approve this funding request for election outreach.
Second.
Sarah, you're up.
Sorry, getting the names down because I missed the last one. All right, Jasmine. Jasmine?
Sorry.
Thank you. Rahim?
Yep.
Paul?
Yes.
Carlos?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
I am also a yes. Paula?
Yes.
Grace?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Kareen?
Yes.
Teresa? Teresa?
Yes, I'm sorry. I
No
you
worries.
can't hear me. Okay.
No worries. Michael, is he back? Okay. Chris?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lizzie?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Lizzie. Okay, next we will go to the Secretary's report.
Sorry, I gotta pull up my minutes.
Okay.
Okay, sharing screen. Here we go. All right, these are the minutes from November 3rd. I'm gonna attempt to scroll down. There we go. Sorry. Too fast. Hold on.
Oh, there it is.
It went really fast. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
I had this issue last month. Last month it was too slow. I don't know what's going on with screen sharing. Okay, so we had attendance, roll call. Try to not do this really quickly. Public comments, government agency reports. And I saw a typo in this, too late to fix it. So I apologize if you find a typo. Probably more than one. Executive reports. Funding requests. Standing rules update. CISs, committee reports. Old business and adjournment.
Move to approve the minutes as presented with noted corrections as annotated by the secretary.
I second.
We just approve the minutes by acclamation, right? There's no
Affirmation.
PhD.
Affirmation vote.
Yes.
Looks like everybody. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
go ahead. Okay, our hands are down. The man with the money bags is up. Okay.
Man with the money.
The man with the money.
Never
is
enough,
up.
is it?
There's never enough money to go around.
So may I, do I have
Yes.
the ability to share my screen? Let me try. And
let
that's
me-
disabled.
Oh man, I did not get you on the list. So hold on.
Because I'll
Sarah,
just jump.
Sarah, your hand is up.
It's been Paul. Where's Paul? There's Paul. Paul is now made a co-host.
Okay, so let me share, make sure I select the right screen here. Let me try this one. This is not exactly the screen I want to show, but we'll come back to this in a moment. This is the screen. So, so this is our portal for UNNC. You can see expenses to date are almost $16,000, broken up into these three categories: neighborhood purpose grants, 54%, office expenses, a little over 13%, and then outreach, a little over 32%. I'd want to point
Paul,
out.
we're looking at the MER.
You're still looking at the MER. Okay.
Yes.
Well, and thanks for telling me.
Yeah.
Because you would have been amazed by what I was clicking on here. Let me try to get rid of that. Let me stop the share.
I was looking for what you were talking about.
Let me, well, let's see. So let me stop the share. I'll try again. I'll probably have to stop the share each time when I want to switch screens. Here we go. How's that?
Yes.
Great. So just quickly pointing out expenses to date, almost 16,000, broken out into these categories: NPGs, office, and outreach. Note that we have, you may recall that our budgeted dollars for the year, fiscal year, are 32,000. We now have 41, just shy of 42,000 in there. That's because we received our rollover notification just earlier today, and we are just under $10,000 for that rollover amount, 9,701.32. So that's going to help a lot. I know there's a rebudgeting process that we go through. Greg, I'm going to have to get with you to talk about how that goes, but I don't know whether we have an open discussion at the governing board or executive committee how we break out our dollars and rebudget, but if you have some thoughts on that, it'd be great if you would share right now.
Okay. What we would look at it first in the executive board. And then you come with your thoughts about what areas we have already planned. And we just put the money in the areas that we have planned. And one of the things that we looked at was the celebration that took up a lot of the money. And then the election. So those were the two big funding areas that we want to make sure we fund properly.
Yep.
So I think most of it's already covered or already allocated. And so we just move the money into those slots, and then we just bring it to the governing board in general late January.
Okay. And then I would like, if we could, to put some portion of the funds into NPGs.
Yes.
Because we've pretty much exhausted
yes.
what we budgeted for this fiscal year. So it'd be great to have some more dollars for the community.
Yes.
Another item I'd like to point out, and Greg and possibly Laura can speak to this. We had the KYCC, which I forget what the acronym stands for, but for the tree planting and caring for the trees, the $6,900, which is in the neighborhood purpose grant amount here. That's something which I understood would be handled in the rebudgeting process. Is that correct?
Yeah,
No?
it's money from last year that they put in this year's budget. So you just put the money on both sides of the ledger so it looks okay.
Okay, because it still looks like it's being counted as expenses to date, and maybe once I'm not reading the numbers correctly, but
yeah, we just play with the sheets and it balances out.
Okay, Laura, you had a comment on
Yeah,
that?
no, I was going to say the same thing. They moved money from last year, which was moved from the year before, which was from the year before, forward to this year, so they could write the check. So it should wash, but that it's weird that it's showing up on the pie sheet or whatever that is called. Is that a pie chart?
Pie chart.
Because it shouldn't really be there. But the money wasn't really part of the 32.
Yeah, but it shows up.
Correct. And we have a new clerk. Our former clerk has moved on to greener pastures, and we have not yet been formally introduced to our new clerk. So, but we can still do our expenses and whatnot. It's just sort of an anonymous, generic email box. But hopefully with our new clerk, they will be just as friendly and helpful as Shauna was in the past. As soon as I know who it is, I'll let everyone know. Any questions on this before we go to the monthly expenditure report?
Glad we received the rollover. That's nice.
Yeah, finally. We've been asking and asking, and here it is. So good news. I'm going to stop the share, and then I'm going to switch to the other screen that you have looked over very closely in that portion of it, the monthly expenditure report. Here it is. Let's see if that works. Do you all see the monthly expenditure report?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Wow, so simple. These numbers should basically mirror what we just saw, at least high level on the portal site. And it just details, here the breakout of the categories, and then our expenditures. We had general operations expenditure for outreach, office expenditure, public storage. We had the neighborhood purpose grant for the Garden School Foundation. Let's see, the outreach, what was this again? Let's see, approval for the outreach committee. general operations expenditures. I actually am blanking on what that was at the moment. Here's the infamous $6,900 that is still sitting in there. We had another general office expenditure for our web portal for upkeep and that from Anne, who actually is owed a couple of months payment. So that's on my list of to-dos. And she will be thankful that I get that checked off. And then another NPG for 1,000. Any questions on this?
Yeah, Paul, could you go to the one that you are drawing a blank on?
Yeah, this one. It looks very familiar, but I'm blanking. Is that for the party?
If I may, if I may.
Oh, okay.
That
Lizzie,
was
go for it.
That was for the promotional materials that we
That's right.
that we created, the notepads and,
Which I saw at
and the
our
flashlights.
our event, this public safety and awareness event I saw for the first time.
Anniversary too, we had some of the pens.
That's right. Okay, great. It looks very nice, by the way.
Yeah, with our new logo. Yeah. Very nice.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Before I make the motion? Oh, you're being sweet tonight, everyone. So I make the motion that we approve the MER for October. Any second?
I second.
Great. I'm going to stop the share on this.
Who was that seconded?
Kareem.
Thank you. I heard your voice.
I believe I've stopped the share now, so we're back.
BAC.
All right, Jasmine.
Yes.
Raheem.
Yep.
Paul.
Yes.
Carlos.
Yes.
Laura.
Yes.
I am a yes. Paula.
Yes.
Grace.
Yes.
Dennis.
Yes.
Corrine.
Yes.
Teresa.
Yes.
Michael.
Absent.
Chris.
Yes.
Greg.
Yes.
Lizzie.
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Thank you. Passes.
Okay.
Okay, great. So there are two other items on the treasurer update. We briefly discussed, and I think sufficiently discussed, 3, the budget adjustments, and then there is this reimbursement as required. I think that's not necessary today, and so I cede the floor to our VP, Paula Southern.
All right, and do I have
You do.
I do.
You do.
All righty. So let's talk about training. I am so proud of you guys. I'm telling you, look at all these. We just have 3 that need to be completed. You see the line through Carlos because I emailed him, and on November 30th, he immediately took those classes, and that is now updated. So that leaves John. Oh, John.
I knew it didn't expire until the end of today.
So as soon as you can do funding.
Yep. For the 8th time in my life.
Wouldn't that be something if we are 100% up to date? Yay! And so that's training. We're doing very well. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. I just want to, let's see, is this the right one? Yes. I want to just start off, get the ball rolling for 2023. Paul, in January, early January, you have ethics and code of conduct that are due. And Jasmine, by March, so this is the first quarter, you have code of conduct. Everybody else is okay for a minute, but I'm making that official notice now for Paul and for Jasmine. And that's training. I did have a question, and that is, got an email from the clerk, NC Funding, LA City, talking about December NC Funding training dates. And that was confusing to me. There is a financial officer training, which is required, board member training, which is required for the non-financial officers. And then there's a funding program workshop that all falls under that umbrella. But there are some NC Funding Neighborhood Council events. That was one was today from 2 to 3:30, and then Thursday the 15th, and then NC Program Funding and System Portal Training, Tuesday, December 6th and December 20th. So what is this? How does this compare to Cornerstone? Laura.
These are optional unless you're a financial officer, which we've all taken our training. But anyone is allowed to sign up and take these extra trainings. So the one about how to fund events would probably be good for anyone to go to if they think they're going to be involved in creating an event for UNC. So I was going to try and get onto that because, again, we have a new person. UNC has a new person, still a stranger to us. And we don't know if that new person's going to be even more precise than Shauna was, and she was pretty darn precise. So, so anyway, but these are optional except the ones for financial officer training if you want to be in the future.
All right, thank you. I just wondered about that. Okay, and then let's see, what else do I have? Attendance. Well, we're doing good with attendance. Well, we were doing good with attendance. No, we're still doing good. We don't have consecutive absences of anyone. So attendance is still good. And the last thing is, the executive handbook for the governing board. This is something that I suggested to the executive board, that each of us just jot down our title responsibilities. And Greg came up with the idea of executive handbook and put it together so that people coming into these positions have something to work from, get that organized. And or if anyone has questions on, well, what is your role, that would be available for that. I got from Sarah Long Henry, and of course I did my own. I did some of Greg's. I need for him to look it over and update. Paul I need, and Grace I need. So that's something we're working on for the future, just for your information. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Okay, so let me make sure I'm not muted, and I am not. No, okay, my two areas are, we're trying to recruit for the one vacant position, Region 1, Seat 2, which expires, but shortly. But we're still trying to fill that position. Then also, so we'll just keep putting the word out for that, advertising that through our various modes of website and MailChimp and I guess Facebook boosts, etc. for that. And then if you know someone, bring someone in for that. The other area is because of our experience with city government and ethical standards, we discussed, one of the things that we have discussed in the past is developing a letter of standards that we would want to present to the city and or present to other neighborhood councils of how we believe as a neighborhood council that every government official, everyone that's serving the public should uphold those standards and be held accountable. So that is under draft at the executive board. So we have different, let's call it committee members working on it and developing it. And so it's not ready for public debut right now, but so the executive board will look at it again. And then when we have our final version, we'll bring it to the governing board. And then one of the discussions that we need to have, and the executive board will have certain recommendations, but then we need to decide, are we just going to make it a CIS? Are we going to try to get other neighborhood councils to sign on to it? Are we going to present it to our council district chairperson, representative to take it to city council? But that will be a discussion that we will have. And then the other thing, I think I'll share this document. Let's stand by. Let me find it. Okay, so let me share what I have. Okay, so one of the responsibilities that we have, one of the privilege that we have, is we receive money and we use that money for different things. But we also need to have a method of keeping track of what the city is doing and then chiming in on that process. That process is the CIS process, but what has happened, if I can find it on here again, is that Gibson in the past sent us a legislative review, and it's also sometimes it's in this neighborhood empowerment monthly updates. There's like a legislative link in here. Sometimes there's a lot of stuff to read, and even though I was looking at it earlier, I'm trying to find it again in here. Boom, 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 election website, policy. Oh, here you go. So legislative updates. So with this, they have different legislative updates, and we can click on this and see some of the legislative reports that where the city is making rulings, passing rulings in. By showing this, I'm just encouraging us to take some time to review these items, because they may be passing ordinance or policy, and we may want to chime in on it rather than just being reactive. And again, that process is the CIS process. I know that in the past, we've like, this is a few years ago, we actually had assigned months where we were to review the CIS information to see if there's anything to present. But I would like for us just to be mindful of that and then just look at that from time to time. And that's, yes, Ms. Paula.
The vacant position has been vacant for a little while.
Yes.
And I just wanted to talk about that. What are our options? What happens if nobody volunteers? The seat just remains vacant?
Yeah, and that has happened many, many times where a seat remains vacant for a year or so. So it does happen.
I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah.
Tori?
Oh, that was one of the questions I had presented to Greg in the chat. When you say you need it, let them know the areas at the time, and more people will respond when they know exactly what it is.
Yes, that is shared at the time. It has a map. When we share it, has a little, we give a little graphic.
Well, no. I'm like, every time you mention it, like right now when you said you need a position filled for District 1 or Region 1, right, just say what it is really quick, because somebody new may be on the phone that didn't know. And like, I can present it at my church, I can present it around the corner or whenever I'm out.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Laura?
Thank you.
Did you just call on me?
I did.
Thank you. We have a member of the environmental committee who's eligible, and she keeps saying she's really interested and she's going to reach out to you. But maybe what I'll do, Greg, is give you her information. You can reach out direct to her. She'd be excellent, but she's a little nervous because she's a renter.
I will be very kind to her.
I know you will.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. Well, that's all of my stuff. I'll try to make that stuff quick. Okay. So we've done the funding requests. We're going to go into the committee reports. And so this doesn't have to be long and drawn out. So we just want each of the committees to take like 2 to 5 minutes to talk about events that have taken place over the years, different since July to now, any activities, spending that you've money that you spent up through this date, and that can be like an estimate of what you spent. Then plans for the balance of this term, and then any needs or funding needs that you may have. I know that may be a lot, but if we can just get a quick overview, and then if you need more time later, maybe next month, we can go into more detail, or I can meet with your committee. So communication is up first.
Excuse me. Good evening. I'm sick like everybody else in the world right now. Can I share my screen, Greg? I know.
Yes, of course. A screen share for you, a screen share for you. Everyone gets a screen share.
Nice.
We all get a screen share. Yes.
There it is. Okay. All right. You guys let me know when you can see this.
Can see it.
All right, here we go. Really brief overview. This is just an overview. I saw your email, Greg, and I just today was able to like kind of compile some stuff that kind of like shows what we did throughout the year to kind of give everybody a recap. This is by no means comprehensive. It's just kind of like we picked and chose a few things from the year. Don't really have any information about funding, about what money we'll need for next year. I need to circle up with Gabby and figure that out. I think what would be super helpful. I know there's a few items that we did get approved for this year that we haven't gotten to, that we're not going to get to.
Right.
It'd be helpful to like kind of, if we can like circle up about what those things are so that we can maybe have those funds moved over to this next year. Anyway, taking us a little bit farther back than this year, at the end of 2021, we presented our brand and identity exploration to the board. That included a couple options on logos. This year, we moved forward with this beautiful logo and have spent the year getting it out in the world in as many ways as possible. We put it on traditional business cards like this, managed to misspell liaison on Tori's homelessness liaison business card, which we haven't gotten around to fixing yet, but we will. We also put our new logo on some newfangled business cards like this that use some sort of high-tech wizardry that makes it possible to just touch a card or a dot to the back of someone's phone and transfer that contact information. We made and distributed lawn signs that look like this that display the names of many of our neighborhoods. It's pretty cool. Some
Pretty
of you have
cool.
We created a postcard and arranged with USPS to have 13,000 of them delivered to neighbors all across our footprint, except for Dolores and Sarah. Really sorry, guys. Still don't know what happened there.
I finally got one.
I haven't either. Yeah.
I finally got one.
All
Finally,
right,
it was maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I want some
Excellent.
of those.
So it's just Dolores then, guys. We're okay.
No, me too. Me too, Raheem.
Oh, well, because you're on Dolores's block, so yeah.
Lizzie lives with Dolores in the same block.
So something about that area, huh?
Something about that area.
I don't know what's going on.
I need some right here.
I will get some for you guys somehow. Moving on. We shot a video for the Public Safety Committee. We designed some seed packet labels. We redesigned the website. and helped the 20th anniversary committee with their event invite and program. And
Very
Gabby single-handedly built this beautiful community cube. Lastly, we recently designed this 2x6 banner as part of Mid-City Prescott's banner sponsorship program. It looks like this in real life, which is pretty cool. That's all I had to share. So in 2023, Gabby and I for sure need help. We are both super busy people. There are a couple of things that we've had some success with over the years. We really want to try to get into the rhythm of doing regularly. We started doing like weekly Instagram posts that showed people what meetings were coming up for the week. Those were seeming to get some traction. Neither one of us was able to keep that up. So if anybody out there is interested in social media, has a knack for how to post things on Instagram, we'd love to create a template to just kind of hand off to somebody to be able to do that on a weekly basis. We really want to interface more with businesses. We've got funding approved for some of our signage to pay for some posters that could go in business windows. We really want that to happen. That's going to require some boots on the ground, people walking door to door to businesses, introducing themselves and kind of, creating that relationship so that people will be comfortable having us in their windows. Also happening right now, Gabby's working on some new MailChimp templates. I think we've done a good job at updating and getting our new branding in a lot of places. One of the remaining places that's a big touch point for us is obviously the e-blasts that go out on a weekly, daily basis. So we're doing that. And then Gabby's also working on some materials for elections right now. I know Lizzie and Laura, you guys are hot for those. We're trying to get those out, but again, we're just very busy people. A couple of housekeeping things. So I have sitting here the packet of dot cards. Sarah, I know you reached out a few weeks ago to get your dot card. We actually were able to order more than what was initially requested. So I'm going to go back through the list of people that requested dot cards. I'll get back in touch with everybody that did request one. If there's anybody else out there that wants one of these virtual cards that you can put your information into and then touch the phones to kind of send your information, we have enough to kind of give them out to more than just who requested them. So I'll try to get an email out before the end of the year so we can start to get that going. We also have more lawn signs in my garage. My wife is like, get those out of the garage right now. So I'm telling you guys, somebody please take these lawn signs away from my garage. We have 2 for West Adams Avenues. We have 1 for Harvard Heights, 1 for Kinney Heights, 1 for Angeles Vista, and 1 for Gramercy Park. So if anybody here lives in one of those neighborhoods and wants one of those neighborhood signs, if you know anybody that lives in any of those neighborhoods and wants one of these signs, happy to hand deliver that to somebody. I'd also love to get some more lawn signs printed up. So that's another initiative we want to get to in 2023. Meeting more neighbors and convincing more people to put these lawn signs on their front lawn, a way to kind of like show some solidarity and community with us. And that's it.
Can we ask questions now?
Yeah.
No questions.
Suggestion then.
Okay. And I have a comment.
Okay, Raheem.
Yeah.
Hello? My battery's going down.
Yeah, no, he hears you.
Okay, I would like to have one put in front of our church right there, 4th Avenue. And then I also, when you do those signs that go on the businesses and everything, is it possible to say at the bottom in bold, that bold orange that we have, say "we see you" or something like it is served like as a neighborhood watch type of sign on the bottom of it, say "we see you," like "we see you" or something like that, catchy, that would be a dual purpose.
We can talk about it. I mean, I think my initial gut reaction is like, we don't want to get into the business of pretending like we're the police or something.
No, it's not
but
like that.
We can, because the idea for the business lawn signs is to make them fun, and we want to like personalize them to the businesses. So like, if we were to have Johnny's Pastrami put one up,
we're here for you.
The copy would be something along the lines of like United Neighborhoods of Pastrami, something that's fun to these businesses to like kind of like put our name with whatever they're doing. So I don't know if that would be the appropriate place to say something like "we're watching you."
Not like that.
We can figure it out. We can figure something out.
Yeah, something. Yeah, we're here for you or something.
Yeah, and that might be, and you know what? that might be like a separate initiative that we can, like, if there's certain places that we want to have some signage like that, that might be a separate thing than the business.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
just something to be welcoming, invite, or a
Yep.
message to the public, right?
Yeah, for sure.
To let you know what we're here for you and what we do, because a lot of people don't know still.
Yeah, I hear you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
And I want to echo that, Raheem. As you board members know, we talked in the past, he got behind in his funding training, and I was about to pull my hair out thinking, what, I'm not getting the response, what is going on? And I said, you are too valuable a member and have worked too hard to not take this training and continue on the board. And we can see the result of his hard work. We can see how valuable he is. And I'm so glad you are up to date and you are here with us tonight. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Paula. Thank you so much.
Laura.
Raheem, are we able to, in effect, lift the image you started out with, the lifting every voice? Or is that not really one of our slogans? Because I love it. It's a beautiful,
I loved it too.
graphic.
Yeah, I mean, we can. It's never been like voted on. It's something that we, as our small little creative team, always came back to as something that like said everything that we wanted to say in a very little, in a short little phrase. So I'd love to use it in some way. I don't know.
Because I thought it was just beautiful. I snipped it off the screen, which means it's low res.
I like it too. I like the colors.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, how if you want it in some way or some form that you want to use it, I can just let me know and I can.
Oh heck, on almost any of the random e-blasts, it might fit in somewhere. I'm just saying that's a really beautiful graphic, and I don't have a particular thought, but it might just fit anywhere. Honestly.
Yeah, that's a good reminder. Thank you for that.
Yeah, like on the back of my cards.
Okay, team, thank you. That was longer than 5 minutes, but it was good information, valuable information, and we celebrate that. I'm mentioning the time because that's what I do. So we may not get through all of the reports today, but we do want to make sure that we have reports from all of the committees. So if I see 2 other hands up, so we'll let those 2 hands go and then we'll go to the next committee report. Lizzie?
Yes. Thank you so much, Raheem, for all that hard work. I was wondering, will the communications committee be able to come to the outreach meeting? This Tuesday, not this Tuesday, the next Tuesday. Because I would like to maybe try to incorporate that lifting every voice in the elections campaign.
Okay, yeah, I'll shoot Gabby a text right now and make sure that one of us can be there.
Yeah, and then if Gabby is working on options for us to take a look at, for the our social media outreach, that would be great too.
Yeah, I know she is. I haven't touched base directly with her this week, but or recently, but I will. I know she's working on. I've seen your email going back and forth. I know she's hard at work.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Chris?
I wanted to ask, now that we've got this great logo, could we ever do something like maybe a competition where we reach out to our schools and our community and ask our community members to design a community message with our logo, so we get our own people working our outreach instead of just us trying to outreach to our community? Try to see if we can entice our community to help build that outreach to each other, and maybe work it around, because they could maybe come up with all kinds of creative ways to utilize our logo in a message that's relevant to them and resonates for our community. And I just thought maybe we could do a Unnc-wide kind of art competition or some sort of thing that kind of serves a lot of those messages all at once.
Great idea.
Yeah, I love that idea. Yeah, it's just about, I think it's about like getting like specific enough with those parameters. But I love the idea of like of getting out to schools. You know, I love incorporating kids and kind of getting kids' energy and stuff. But yeah, I'd love to like continue to talk about that and brainstorm and figure that out.
Thanks.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, next we will have the Public Safety Emergency Planning Committee.
Let me tell you what we sort of touched upon over this last year, Grace and I. The safety fair was a big involvement on our part. And right now on the board, we can see who was there. Teresa, Grace, Paul, Corrine was there. Lizzie provided the materials, and I was also there. So we had a nice representation there. It felt like the right thing to do, but we also learned about the difficulty of getting the word out and getting people from our community there. So we're going to apply that. I'll mention that later. We were represented, well, I was at the Grayburn Disaster Fair, and I think James Missionet was there as well. When we see 50 people come out to that, we'd like to apply some of that response to our own mini-surge. We also managed to get, and thank you for the Neighborhood Council's contribution to the Safety Fair. And Harvard Heights also kicked in a nice sum of money to the Safety Fair.
Dennis, someone's like rattling something. Someone's cracking some peanuts or something.
It seems to be coming into Tori.
I think it's Tori.
Tori. Okay.
Squirrel.
All right. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. No apologies.
Okay. Ongoing, we started with Sarah Lacey, thankfully, with her position at Cal State at Dominguez Hills, and she's managed to corral Michelle and Patricia on an intern program to work on the resiliency plan that we've been talking about for a while. We started an evaluation of the Cool Blocks program, and that's primarily Grace's good work. I think we're finding that that's more aspirational than doable, quite frankly. Locally here, we did report the emergency preparedness to our local Harvard Heights Neighborhood Association. And as Eric's mentioned earlier, the speed hump petitions proceeding on my very own street, believe it or not. For next year, the mini cert is something we like to do. And that's going to affect the kind of funds we're going to look for. The resiliency plan, we really want to come up with something on that. We've got a couple of good interns who have practice in it. They've done some researching, even coming out of high school. So I have high hopes for that. Running through your checklist, Greg, the funds spent in 2022, our estimate's about $500. For next year, our rough estimate is $750. And that's partly coming from talking with Gabby and Raheem. I dropped in their last communications committee meeting. And it's my feeling we need to get hard copy out in front of people. And so we'd be talking about flyers, maybe drop notices, and perhaps Josh or someone doing a video that gets out on Facebook, a little bit like Grace and I did for the cancer program. Looking forward, concerns or needs. I'll just give you everything we're thinking about here. We really do need to get materials out to people. Grace has commandeered some nice brochures from Rico from the fire department. We've got those PG&E handouts. We've got to get them out to people, and having people come to us at a minister is a good way to do that. Getting the information to the communities. Again, how are we going to do this? So I really like the idea of hard copies. The Cool Blocks program is so similar to the neighborhood team program that some of you know that Patrick and Chin are so involved in. And I think there's more of a possibility of getting some sort of neighborhood disaster response team working on the neighborhood team program than there is in the Cool Blocks program. The idea is to get resources throughout the United Neighborhoods where you have essentially some team captain in each particular area, somebody that people can turn to saying, what are we going to do, or can you help us get out of this? So we just need to set up some structure there, and I think that's a better way than Cool Blocks. So that's using the existing resources like the Ryland program, the CERT program, and the Map Your Own Neighborhood program. So that's everything I think we're touching on. So any questions? Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you, Dennis.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. All right, next we will go to planning and zoning, and they have several items on the agenda. Once they are done, then we'll look at our time and see how everyone is doing. And so we'll decide at that point if we will have the other committees report out. But planning and zoning, you are up, and let me give both of you share capabilities. John.
So, John, did you download what we did you re-download what we uploaded to the packet? Or do I need to share while you talk?
Download what we uploaded.
I did not download what we uploaded.
Okay. So I can try to share, but as you know, I had a computer error at our last meeting. So if it doesn't work, maybe Greg can share.
Laura, I can do it if you give me 2 seconds. If you want to start talking about the first item, I have good internet.
Which one is the first? Okay, frick and frack. Which one is the first item? I'm not looking at the agenda. The first one is, I'll look at the agenda. Livable Communities Initiative.
Okay. And that's the one that I need to run.
Yeah, 21-1230-S2. So at our most recent Planning and Zoning Committee meeting, just to be clear, we had left it as we would come back to it and propose a CIS for January. But as it's turning out, this thing is moving so quickly through the city council planning of various committees, the city council committees, it's going to potentially be at city council before our January meeting. So John and I drafted a proposed community impact statement, and it was based on our meeting, but we hadn't voted to send it here. So John, are you going to share that?
Yes, I am. I'm getting it. It's
so and you're better at even though I started talking, you're better at
yes.
One
yeah, this is Laura and I have been dividing, conquering. So let me share my screen. Let me get back to, I have too many screens open. Let's go desktop 2. Okay, can everyone see this?
Almost. There's the motion.
Okay.
But it's not our CIS.
Yes, so this is the motion, and it's basically the motion is to this Livable Communities Initiative. It's an outgrowth of the housing element that we voted on last year, and it's basically one of their to-do list items. And they're the only thing that they're doing right now is an investigation to a possible initiative that would be, it appears to be some kind of incentive program for housing in a different realm. It's unclear right now. Everything is just going through. There's no, as far as I can see, there's no shopping list of like an initiative that's going to affect our lives in our neighborhood yet, but they're discussing it. So what I see, let me go back to our motion.
That's the top.
There it is. Thank you. It's unclear so other neighborhood councils have been doing CISs. One from just south of us, they basically said, when you're considering doing a new incentive program, please don't override our existing things that we have in our neighborhood, such as CPIOs, overlays, HPOZs, and just make sure those things are protected from any for future action. And we thought that was a good idea to include that. So other things that we included are, I was really, when you look at the Livable Communities Initiative, and I'll post the link to it, it's a website. It's really, it seems like they want to have a vision for that. TOC is bigger projects, it's taking multiple lots and building really big projects. This seems to be, they're gearing it towards smaller projects, and perhaps that maybe someone like you or me, if we own a lot on Jefferson, that we might be able to develop into 4 units or 8 units or a mixed use project rather than having to go through something larger. What those incentives will be, we don't know, but it seems like that's what they're gearing it towards, is not kind of bigger changes like TOC, but we'll find out. So I was keen on making sure that the incentives, A, didn't overlap TOC, didn't make it confusing. Like when we get a project, are they using TOC or density bonus or livable communities to make it an overlay that just makes it confusing, but is really something different, and especially something that would afford people that aren't big developers to impact change with the assets that they have. And I was really interested in making sure that this is part of the housing element, that people who own property here, especially for multiple generations, are able to see that asset grow and be a generational wealth for that family and for our community, rather than kicking people out and having it redeveloped. So that's what I was keen on. Laura, you had a bunch of points. I
Yeah.
can't talk and read at the same time. Can you go over your
Yeah,
points?
yeah. So I'm really keen, as one of the people who's always in the trenches and testifying at hearings, I'm really keen that this ordinance is going to result be much more clear and specific than so many of the other ordinances that the planning department comes up with. So what happens is that the visionary policy people come up with these, woo woo, yay kind of ordinances, and then when you get to a developer and projects, there's a whole other team at the planning department that implements it, and the developers find all the loopholes because the ordinance itself is not precise. So the housing element, the big umbrella that is going to end up including this timeout made some very clear policy decisions that most of the new housing opportunities, especially affordable housing opportunities, need to be shared fair share throughout the whole city. And based on some state laws, the housing element identifies what's called high opportunity areas as the target, to put in a lot of these new policies. And there's hundreds of these policies. This is just one of them. But this one, they didn't use that language. In the motion, they were targeting suitable transit-rich corridors. Well, all of South LA has suitable transit-rich corridors. So this seems to be ignoring trying to get some of this in the wealthier communities, and would retarget all the areas that have been targeted up till now, not fair share. So I'm really interested personally in making sure it's specific. And then the other thing that was a little bit alarming to me is that one of the bullet points in the motion was making waivers by right. Well, then what's the point of having zoning at all if you can waive anything? And especially when we have the CPIOs, the HPOs, all of our overlays, which are zoning, but are being treated as if they're just design guidelines. And they're actually zoning. So I am really concerned. I'm using the I word here, but I think I'm reflecting a lot of actions Unnc has made in the past, that that the waivers not be automatically by right, so that we should say that that's not a good idea. And one of the first waiver mentioned in the motion is of setback. And Teresa might wish to weigh in here, because the elimination of setback was causing the lack of space on each of these proposed developments throughout the city. It creates a situation where you can't plant any trees because there's no place left to plant trees. You could put a few potted plants. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not a lot. It's become a real crisis. So I'm really, so this is my concern. So this CIS would be an initial one because they haven't developed an ordinance. But I'm eager to weigh in early. What we've presented here is unfortunately 300 characters and spaces too long. So even if we approve it in most concept, John and I would still have, and whoever else wanted to work on it, still have to reduce it in length really quickly. So if we want to go forward, the motion would have to be final version approved by executive committee via email, because this is too long. So
And all these points we did discuss at Planning Zoning
Yeah,
Committee.
we
We just tabled it not to do anything formal until it came out to be a little more urgent than we thought it was going to be.
That's
And-
correct. And I re-listened to the tape. So, I mean, these are the points that we did talk about. It's
Yep.
just that we didn't do a final motion.
And you can see there are some things, the things I'm concerned about are things that, what can we do proactively to make our communities better? And some of the things that Laura was focusing on are more defensive, like protect the things that we have, and how to, and so it's not bifurcated. I think they're very complementary about, let's look forward, but let's not throw everything away. And then of course, everything Laura mentioned with the waivers, that's already happening. Density bonus is already doing that. So I don't see anything new there. So I'm just wondering what it's doing. So anyway, these are our concerns, and this is what our approach is to get the CIS in.
Okay, so one of us has to call on hands, but I don't think either one of us can see the hands if this is posted, unfortunately. And I don't know if there are any questions, comments.
And I'm posting the Livable Communities website. It's very dreamy.
Yeah, so we're doing this in the wrong order in a way, John, because having listened to our tape, we had all that Livable Communities website. It's really pretty. And you'll remember that we had a snarky comment made by you know who, and there were no digital kiosks in any of those livable communities. So that's our next item here. Anyway, so what say you all? Anybody? Nobody.
Chris.
Oh, good.
I think the idea of doing a kind of a proactive CIS is a good one to at least kind of lay some goalposts down for what we could support in terms of the whole issue of no automatic waivers by right, about recognizing that these things should be equitably shared throughout the city and not just constantly layer upon layer of development, whether you call it TOC or what was the word for the city, the streets that Laura used. I mean, it's the housing is needed through the city, and it needs to be affordable housing needs to be developed throughout the city. And so any CIS that kind of lays out the parameters that we can support, even if we don't have all the details of the program, I think it's a good first effort, to kind of beat them out of the gate and plant your flag and then support, rally around it as things come at us.
Great, thanks.
I think everyone's tired.
Yes. So what's the
this
motion
one's
before?
Planning Zoning Committee, I move that we take Laura and I will have to wordsmith it to 300 words. The concepts we laid out about proactive, reactive, protective, but also things that we would prefer to see and put them into a CIS. Again, this is not going to turn into an ordinance anytime soon, but we're going to feed that discussion and to present this as a CIS for the first draft.
Can you put your motion in the, sorry. Can you put the motion in the chat, John?
And I will second it as stated.
Right, but with the caveat that to be approved by executive officers via email, because I think we have to do it really fast.
Okay.
You're writing it, right, John?
I am. Well, I should have learned to write these first.
I appreciate it. Okay, let's vote. Jasmine?
Oh, we hadn't do anything a second.
I thought, yeah, Chris.
Chris, sorry.
Chris seconded. No she covered you. She got you.
Jasmine, are you still here?
She's still here.
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear anything.
She said yes.
Okay, thank you. I don't know what's going on with my sound. Raheem?
Yes.
Thank you. Paul?
Yes.
Thank you. Carlos?
Yes.
Thank you. Laura?
Yes.
I am a yes. Paula?
Yes.
Thank you. Grace?
Yes.
Thank you. Dennis?
Yes.
Thank you. Kareen?
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Michael?
Absent.
Chris?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Lizzie?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, the next one, proposed digital kiosk on Washington Boulevard between Arlington and La Brea.
John, can you pull that one up and I can
Yep.
talk quick? So
Yep.
we had a lively discussion based on Dolores's request that the committee put on our agenda, the interactive digital kiosk proposal that's also quickly it's moving to city council. And Hakeem, losing his last name, but the Council District 10 Planning and Economic Development Deputy was at our Planning and Zoning Committee this time. And he said, essentially, based on our lively discussion, we should write a letter to Heather Hupp and Council District 10. So what this program is, we're not 100% clear, but it's a proposed citywide installation of about 800 digital kiosks that would be interactive and may have ads and may have information about the communities and maybe wayfinding, and it's very unclear. And we had a whole list of questions, starting with why was Washington Boulevard chosen for a part of this project? Because they're showing Washington Boulevard from Arlington to La Brea. And so, why Washington Boulevard? And if there's probably a good answer, but then shouldn't it stretch a little farther east to include the Ray Charles, the Debbie Allen Dance Academy, the Amazing Grace Conservatory, because all of those are easterly of Arlington, but not by very much. You can see there's a long list of questions. So what the motion, it was a motion that we passed, would be that we write a letter with a bunch of bullet points of our questions or concerns about this project, and not have a position. We don't have a position. Could be great, could be awful. There's the RFP. There's no RFP. There was basically this at the moment was a no bid process with a company based in Ohio that's done a project in Houston. Houston had done an RFP, which is a request for proposals, and the proposal from the city was to use the Houston RFP for City of LA. So the city attorney itself, someone is also questioning that. So these are just this list of questions that we would put in the letter to Council District 10. And this could be, again, a very exciting thing. I mean, or it could be Neon Tokyo. I mean, it could be anything in between. We are not very clear on what the project is. And we're certainly unclear on why communities were not reached out to, why UNNC was not reached out to. But if this is a positive thing, can UNNC and our community actually be involved in deciding what would be on these digital or in these digital kiosky things? So
hand raised from either Chris or Demetrius.
right.
It's Chris. Laura, I'm actually going to be in Houston all next week. Could you get any information on where, if this is rolled out, and I will go do a little ground search and investigate and take photographs and bring information back. I mean, if it's actually up and running, if you can give me some sense of where it is, I'll go hunt it down and we can see at least an idea how it rolled out in Houston.
Right. Well, yeah, that'd be great. I mean, and there is on the IKE something website, there's a video and everything like that. We're not going to run through it again here tonight because, among other reasons, it's 9:15. But the question is is it okay to send a letter like this, but with our letterhead and looking prettier, to the council office with these bullet points? And these are all the questions and concerns, I mean, all of them that were brought up at the meeting, because again, I went back and listened to the tape and transcribed it a little. So, Greg.
Tori's hand was up before mine.
Oh, Tori, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, now these are standalone kiosks. You say we can go to the website IKE?
John, can you
Yes.
pull up, all of this is in the
Yes.
agenda packet. There's some pictures, I think.
Yeah, I got it.
I can look later.
Maybe.
So this is the map of the streets. This is us right here. So you can see there's a lot of them up towards Hollywood and
No, we're not
Westwood.
seeing anything.
Oh boy, boy, boy.
We're seeing you, John. We see you, John. We see you talking about what you're looking
You
at.
can use your
John.
imagination.
Okay, here we go. Let me make this a
yeah.
little bit bigger. I forgot I
Yeah,
stopped
yeah.
sharing. Okay,
Uh,
can everyone see this?
Yes.
Okay, so ours is right here. We got a little stretch of straight little Washington Boulevard, a lot of streets in Hollywood, a lot on the west side, you know, there in USC or UCLA rather, and a lot downtown. So here's some, they gave us some maps, lots of maps, lots of maps. Oops, that's it. Okay, let's go to this. Do you remember which? Oh, here it is.
I don't think I put up there a image.
I don't think so either.
No.
Well, in the meantime, while he's looking, so this will be like you could walk down the street and you touch the kiosk and it's interactive. You can see where any entertainment is within our footprint. And will UNNC be on there as a resource?
Well, that's our question.
We don't know.
Here, John, I can share something now.
Okay, I've stopped sharing.
I'm gonna, so John, you get, oh, here we go.
And if they put us on,
Here,
if we get a request
can
to
you
put us
guys
on,
see, can you see this photo?
It's coming up.
it's coming.
It's coming. There we go.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Those are huge. Okay.
Right. So these are all of what you just asked. That's one of our questions. It's a biggie. They are 8 feet high.
Yeah, like in the mall. Just like it was
the
at the
point
mall.
is we don't know any of these answers. This is being, oh, look at that. I'm on a website. Is it, are you seeing that it's moving? Because I'm not touching anything here.
Yes, it's moving. It's moving.
Yep.
Mine is moving.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so there was so little information there. It's also all privately owned. It's all privately run. We had questions about maintenance, about when they stop working. Are they going to sit there unworking in 10 years or 5 years? So we just had all these questions. And
I'm just concerned that there'll be
Tori, you broke up.
Okay, so I'm stopping the share. Tori, you kind of faded out there, or else my internet faded out. So we're looking at, it could be negative, but it could also be extremely positive. And for us, we're in this historic community.
Yeah.
If we're able to provide content, we can point people to landmarks, to our cultural sites. If the underground museum came back, I hope it will. You know, this could be really exciting. We just don't know enough and we haven't been involved. So that's sort of the point of the letter. So Hakeem suggested we write the council office this letter and say, here's all of our concerns.
Yep. Well, we should CC to the council and to the company before the company has approval to put it out without our information on it.
Yeah, well, right.
What is the motion?
Where'd it go? The motion was on that share screen, John.
Yep.
Well, I can read it out. I can read it out loud. I can copy and paste it. You know what? Let me copy and paste it.
That would be wonderful.
Into the chat. Just our motion.
That would be wonderful.
But I'm not trying to do the bullet points.
That's okay.
Just the motion.
We just need to know what we're voting on.
Right. And in this case, I just put moved by John, seconded by Dolores, but that's from our committee, not tonight. So.
So the motion was to write a letter to find more information about it, or what I just saw in the chat was the motion to install.
The proposal that we're responding to, that motion, the city council motion, sorry, number 221154, is to install the digital kiosk. If you go below that, our motion is UNC should write a letter with bullet points about our concerns and questions.
Got it.
Right.
Got it.
Without a position to either oppose or support.
And who's making that motion?
I can make that motion.
I'm sorry, are we writing the letter to the CD10 or to?
To CD10.
Okay.
Okay, so you made the motion to write the, yes, Tori. So the
I just want
motion,
to make sure to the company as well simultaneously, because if they already have approval to do it, it's got to be done without our information on it.
No, this is a council motion to accept them and their project that's not yet defined. So, I mean, we could send a copy to them. That's okay if we knew who the them is. But this motion has not yet been seconded.
yeah, I was going to second it, but then we started discussing it again. So I will second the motion. It's okay. I just, I just want to make sure we're clear on it.
Right.
The letter, like the question about who's the letter going to, excellent question. So I second the motion.
So again, it would be all of those bullet points, and that reflects, nobody tonight has asked a different question. That long list of questions.
Sarah, you good?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to shorten it in order to fit it in
Yes,
the
of course.
PhD box, but I'll work
Of
on
course you
that.
are. Yes. Okay, let's take the vote.
All right, Jasmine,
Yes.
Raheem,
Yep.
Paul,
Yes.
Carlos,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
I am a yes. Paula, Paula, are you still
I'm
there,
just
Paula?
saying yes, and
Oh,
I'm muted.
I'm sorry, it's okay.
I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah, if I could do split screen, I guess I could see everybody while I'm doing this. Grace,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Kareen,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
Michael,
Absent.
Chris,
Yes.
Greg,
Yes.
Lizzie,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
the motion passes.
Okay, next, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have CPC-2020-2115-DB space 1848 South Gramercy.
Nothing.
I have
is-
to say that I am recused, but nothing's
And
going to
Laura,
be said.
stay away for 10 seconds. It was continued again by the request from the developer from this month to, Teresa, was it January or February? February. So 2 more months. We don't know what's happening. Everything still stands. We don't know what's happening, but presumably we'll know from the planning department if anything changes, but I don't think anything will change. That's it.
John,
Laura, come back.
John, do you think that this person is ever going, the contractor, developer is ever going to try to contact the community, us, and say, talk to us and say, hi, I want to be a good neighbor?
I do not.
I'm not State Farm, but
people don't change like that, especially when they apparently have the upper hand with state law behind them. So, but that's my opinion, not that an opinion of the board or the committee.
I understand observation. Okay, next we have follow up to previous land use case E in S and O business from your committee.
Oh, I think we don't have any. I thought we had one more thing from Laura. I think you might be reading our agenda. But I'm not Laura, what was our
John,
last item?
no, that's just the automatic, just in case something came up. And I can't think of anything that's come up. I mean, we have a bunch of stuff coming up on our agenda for this month, but not for tonight.
Okay, so I thank you, Planning and Zoning Committee. Okay, to the board in general, I have a time issue to discuss with you. We're coming up on 9:30. I prefer not to go past 9:30. I know that I was ambitious in requesting to have all the committees report out. As we have shared in the past that we wanted to have different committees share what's going on. Planning and Zoning Committee is their presentation is different than just an overview because they have like actual items to present. So of course they took additional time because of they have just regular items to present. So having said that, what we have on our agenda is presentation of the other agenda, from the other committees, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there'll be 5, at least 5 other committees. I would like to put those committees, environmental outreach, Recs and Parks, election, and unhoused on the agenda for next month. Unless election has something related, election might have some information that's pertinent that we need to be aware of now. Any news from do you need time? Does any of these committees need time to present current items and not just the overview that I requested? I guess that should be the general question.
I can do mine next month.
Okay.
I
Yes?
can just quickly say from the elections committee that we have secured the location for the polling location to be the Washington Irving Library. So that's where our stakeholders will be voting on April 22nd. Also, I will be sending emails to I believe it's Group B, our board members, to see if they want to run again as candidates, because you guys need to run again and participate in our greet and meet and candidate forum and all that. So I will be sending an email to each one of you.
Okay.
And also just very quickly before we leave, if we please can take a screenshot of the gallery view so I can use it for our campaign. Okay. So before
Laura, you're up.
Yeah. Yes, I just wanted to, if it's okay, Greg, share the screen on the composting workshop.
Yes, please. Yes.
Yeah, and just tell me if you guys can see it.
But
UNNC, that's us, and the Environmental Committee and the Garden School Foundation are next in the series of composting workshops is Saturday, December 10 at 10 a.m. at 24th Street Elementary. So I just wanted to share, and I sent out a little email to Lizzie, Raheem, Gabby, Greg, Charlie. So that's all. But please, some of you guys haven't come yet. These are great workshops, and that is all I wanted to do for this. I have to finally stop share. Thank you.
Thank you. Teresa, you're up.
I just wanted to say that construction for the security cameras and lighting in Benny Potter Park has begun. It should be done in the next 4 to 6 weeks. I have some pictures, but I'll show them next time.
Okay. And also, Teresa, can you, I know someone asked about the event from the Neighborhood Block Club on the 14th. Could you share that also?
Yes. Yeah, the West Adams Avenues is inviting the UNNC board to our holiday party, which is December the 14th at Johnny Pastrami's. Between me and Donna, I think we've invited everybody, but if they're, we'd love for everybody to come. It is the annual party that we have here in the Avenue. So please RSVP and let us know if you're coming. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Tori?
I just want to say next year, starting February, I would like more participants from the neighborhood council to walk with me, and that way we could get some marketing material out at the same time around the community. And that's what I would like to have as a future request.
Okay. Okay.
And let me know when the announcement time comes.
Wait a minute. What do you mean, Tori? The announcement time?
Well, if there's an announcement, can we make an announcement of something coming up this month?
Yeah. Yeah, you can make an announcement anytime.
Okay, really
Announcement
quick.
time was at the start of the meeting.
Yeah, I'm
not for us, not really. But anyway, really quick, we're having the Messiah. They're gonna have the Messiah.
that's
At,
what you meant.
yeah,
That was at the beginning of the committee. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
well,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Well, I'll send it to you. You can send it to everybody.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
all right. So is the board okay with us moving the overall reports from the other committees to next month?
Yes.
And then, okay. And so again, our effort is to have so many report out each month about what's happening and what are you doing and how much money you want, how much money you need, and all your good work. Okay. Okay. So with that in mind, it is 9:32 by my coordinated phone with the National Bureau of Standards time. And I think that with that, let me see what else we have on the agenda besides that. Old business, any old business that we need to look at? Okay, then I make a motion. Yes, go ahead.
Not old business, but confirming our meeting January 5th.
Yeah.
Yes, our next meeting is set for January 5th. I know maybe a few of us may have partied really hard. But that's like we party hard on the 1st, and that's like Monday days afterwards. So yes, the 5th is set.
Yeah.
Our brain should be clear by that time, right? And back in the country or in the area or accessible via Zoom. Yes.
Yeah.
Can I jump in too?
죄송해요. 나가려고 했는데 문을 잠고 열쇠를 안 갖고 나왔어요.
Whoa.
Can you
I don't know who that was.
That was Grace talking to a family.
Okay, but I have a question. Could everyone who's a committee chair, would you please just email Greg and me if you are not having your meeting in December?
Are we going to take a picture too, right?
Which agenda, some of the agendas will no doubt be canceled. So just please email Greg and me. Thank you.
I have mine and I'll have the speaker probably tomorrow to give to you.
You don't need to discuss it here. Just email us if you're not having your meeting.
Okay, fix your faces.
All right.
Smile, happy faces.
Tori, Chris,
Carlos,
Grace.
Fix your clothes. Fix your clothes.
I won't be able to, sorry. I can't do it either.
No?
No, I don't know why. When I push on video, it doesn't do anything.
Grace is gone. We lost Grace.
Grace left?
She's gone.
Okay.
Hurry up, take it.
I'm gonna take a picture. Okay, everybody smile.
Jasmine.
Thank you, Jasmine. Okay.
Look, mine will be a picture of a picture.
Okay, one more time. Okay, I think I got it.
You got it? Thank you.
Yay!
Good night to all. So I will
Yes, thank
stop.
you. And Lucy, by the way, I actually been taking snips all evening long.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the meeting is adjourned. So.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Happy
Good night.
holidays, everyone.
You too, Lizzie.